Just having a couple of laps, see what it's like for these guys in the wet. I don't think I've ever actually been around here, so just putting in a couple of practice laps before we get started for the proper start for qualifying. But yeah, just wanted to kind of get a feel of how it is around here and what kind of challenges they're up against. Remember, the track is a pretty quick track. We're all about carrying a lot of corner speed as much as possible and exit speed, not trying to be too heavy on the brakes if possible. Missed that one by a mile. So I'm driving the AMG. I don't actually drive in this, obviously. I do the commentary for it, but I've got the setup and the settings for this championship. So got the bot settings that the guys in the AMG would have to use. Come out of this corner in third gear. That's how tricky it is to get the power down. There we go. Just about edge it around the corner. Get the power down in third, and hope for the best for a good exit. So a good feature of this track is this incredible long straight. So if we do have a bit of a bad exit and drop off the guys in front, you do have a chance to try and claw it back with a bit of a slipstream all the way down here. It's such a long straight, it's ridiculous. And let's try and do a lap and actually see what kind of time we can kind of do. Do this one lap and then head out of this and get ready for qualifying. Really understeering into that first corner. No traction control on, so I've got to be careful on the throttle. Down the hill now. Fast section is this. Just got to try and hook up these corners absolutely flat out. Even in the wet, get the line right so it's nice and smooth on the steering, not scrubbing any time, braking it roughly about the 100. Oh, kick of oversteer to catch, nothing too drastic there because I slowed down enough to be able to deal with it. A little dab of brake just to get it turned in, and then similar for this one, just as you come over the crest of the hill there, dab of brake and turn it in. Braking it about the 75 marker here. Still going a little bit wide, a massive slide from the rear. Look to get a late apex around that one so you can plant your foot as early as possible. Not too bad a lap this so far, it feels alright. I've worked out roughly about the 150 marker is where it's pretty safe in the wet to get on the brakes. Any later than that and you're risking it a bit. So hard to get the power down out of that last corner, but we'll get there in the end. Now we head down the start finish straight, so it's over a 2-minute lap. Steer wheel racing's done a 211.9. What's mine? A 214.1, so about 2 seconds off the pace, 2 and a bit seconds off the pace. No surprise since I haven't done any practice whatsoever. But yeah, it's pretty good. In fact, I'll just go into this first corner for another go. What time is it? 27. I better jump off in a second. Just go through a couple more corners. I'm enjoying this. And then we'll get into watching qualifying. Tricky these first 2 corners, getting the understeer cured. I've not set up this car for the wet, that's one problem. Anyway, pretty much leave it at that. I'm going to the next one, see if we can go a bit faster through this next one, touch them on the wall. A bit better this time. Earlier apex, better exit, that's better. A bit of a slide, but still got away with it. There we go. Anyway, really good fun. I wish I were racing now. Evening TJW, Dark Smoker. Yeah, I accidentally, mistakenly posted that Dark Smoker would be doing the pro lobby, and he's got internet issues, so he's not able to bring us the pro lobby tonight, but he will be doing the review kind of video instead, I believe. Evening, Birthright. So that was good fun, I enjoyed that. These guys are in for a treat here, as long as they don't treat it too I don't know, as long as they don't struggle too much in the wet, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, anyway, I think we're into qualifying now, so... Oh! It's not what I wanted to press. Force of habit. So Birthright first out of the pits. We've already had a spin by the look of it from Zentech. And is that how you said that? Oh, God knows. Why do people have tricky names to say? We're going to call him Zentech even if it's not how you say it. That's how I say it. Gnarly Pop. A lot of familiar faces as this championship seems rather popular, and we're into round 3 now. This time round we are at Tokyo East Outer Loop, and it's a 4.5 mile track, so it's a long one, and it's even longer in the wet. So everyone obviously competing on the same tyres this time, so there's not much option for different oh, there we go. Sorry, that's not qualifying. Anyway, I'll carry on anyway. So there's not much option for tyre choice, because obviously you want to be on the wet tyre at all times, so that's out of the window. There's not much strategy tonight with regards to that, but there certainly will be a little bit of fuel saving strategy going on, so there's still that to look out for. Everyone in the Group 3 cars, and we'll go through the drivers as we go. Cutler out of the pits this time, first time. Good evening, Paul. Good of you to join me even though you're at work. Shame you've missed it tonight. Evening, Tom Morley. Don't know who he is. No worries, CJW. Steve, good of you to join me again, Steve. Good to see you. Right, let's go on board. It'll be quite interesting doing on board tonight. A bit more so than normal, possibly. Ooh, picking up a bit of understeer. So due to the lap time being incredibly long, we have an incredibly long out lap before they even start on their fast laps, these guys. But at the moment, Cutler's away in front. Birthright's got a little bit of a chance of a distant slipstream once he gets onto the long straight, which will help him out obviously for his lap time. So Cutler might suffer a little bit because of the lack of slipstream in front of him. Well, it definitely will do. In fact, the straight is that long on this track that you're not going to not suffer. So 9 laps the first race, and we're in the Pro-Am lobby here. The Pro-Am race is still going ahead, but as we've already mentioned, Dark Smoker unfortunately with a few issues internet wise, and is not able to bring us the Pro lobby this week live. That's the way of the world sometimes. These things happen. It's not Dark Smoker's fault. So Armin jumped in a lobby with him earlier and did a couple of laps around here. I really quite enjoyed this track and combination. Neutron Storm is Armin's son. Tiny Tortoise, all familiar names. Zentech, the first one that's joining us for the first time tonight. He's already picked up a bit of damage, so he's coming in the pits already to repair that. Damage is on full, so there's no getting away with it, especially in qualifying. you need a decent car under you. I actually picked up a little bit of damage when I was practicing earlier, and I lost roughly around about 5 miles an hour at the end of the straight. I was about 5 miles an hour down on what I would have had without the damage, so it does affect you quite a lot, even though it doesn't really affect the handling that badly. What can I say, Dark Smoke? I've seen you do that all the time. It's easy done, isn't it? You panic because it just starts, so you think, well, this must be qualifying, and then all of a sudden you realise it ain't. He's not paid to build Dark Smoker, so that's the real reason he's been cut off. Anyway, we've got Bigsy and Tiny Tortoise battling on a qualifying lap. Never the wisest, but Tiny Tortoise pulls in and lets Bigsy through. Burnt Fry doing, let's see, Cutler and Burnt Fry side by side. So these guys possibly misjudging the slipstream down that really long straight. Oh, Cutler getting it a little loose on the exit of the last corner, and it's so easily done. Bins it and loses all his time in qualifying. Damien just about coming through past him without any incident. So where's Burnt Fry? What's he managed to do? A 2:13.624. So we've already seen a 2:11 in the practice, so we know there's faster times out there, possibly to come in anyway. Maybe not this lap round, but certainly when the fuel's burnt down and there's another set of fresh tyres on for these guys. Mainly the rear tyres that you're worrying about in the wet, seeing as though the cars can be so loose, especially coming out of the slow corners, when downforce isn't your friend. You don't have any. Sean with a decent opening lap to put him in third position. Gnarly Pop in fourth. Not to mention Damien in second, one of the CRT drivers. Armin in fifth with a respectable 2:17.225 as his first lap. Neutron Storm a lot slower, unfortunately, 5.5 seconds off Burnt Fry in the lead, but they'll be looking to improve on that as qualifying goes on. In sixth position at the moment though. Tiny Tortoise in seventh, needs to get a clean lap in. Keeps battling away with other people, and it looks like he has to let them pass more often than not, so he's losing time because of that. Zentech just getting past. Smashes it into the wall and then gets an absolute boot full of rear end. Load of oversteer, puts it into the barriers, so that's Zentech's lap over and done with. And unfortunately he looked like he slowed down the other guys that he was racing around to get past. So those laps will be ruined as well, I dare say. Bigsy will be looking to improve. Good driver is Bigsy, and we've seen him up there in the previous weeks. So no doubt he'll be looking for a faster time in qualifying, as everyone will be, obviously. That's the idea of qualifying. Gumsy as well. Once he gets going, I will be expecting quite a fast time from Gumsy. Oh, we've got engine damage from Zentech. He's got to go all the way around this lap now and get into the pits, repair that damage. Good evening. Jay Marriott as well, good evening, thanks for joining me. Hopefully we'll have a good one tonight. It should be quite entertaining if nothing else. Let me just have a quick drink. So 9 laps the first race. 13 laps the second race. So the second race is slightly different as well. The time of day is different and the weather is different, so it's still raining in the second race, but it's not heavy rain. The first one is heavy, second one is light rain, so slightly different, and it might bring the intermediate tyre into the equation. but I've not been on and tested in that time, so I have no idea myself. I'm sure there'll be a few people that dare to go intermediate and try and get that extra bit of lap time out of the tyres. And then there's a stipulation as well in the second race that you can't pit before lap 4. Not for tyres anyway. Start with 70% fuel in the second race and 100% fuel in this first race. So the fuel in the first race, if they do have to save fuel, I'm not sure they will, just doing 9 laps, but they might have to, I'm not sure. And if they do, then it'll be interesting to see what happens, to be fair, because it's very long straights, and it's interesting to see how you save fuel down long straights other than short shifting and losing a load of time to the guy behind. So where are we at? Steer wheel with a 2:11.252, which we saw him something like that from him in practice. A 2:11.1, I think it was in practice. So still with a very, very good time in the BMW M3. Gnarly popping second, coming down the straight to finish another lap. 2:13.837 this time, not an improvement this time round. Burnt Fry's now jumped up into second with a 2:13.102. So quick times coming in, but they're still a long way off Steer Wheels Racing's time in first place at the moment. Damien putting that early lap in on lap 3, which has done him well. Still on his outlap for another one. Sean just sat in the pits, not sure what's going on there. So the guys are getting towards the halfway mark on the fuel gauge. So they've certainly got a chance to improve in the next 5 minutes of qualifying. 15-minute qualifying session this one. So at the moment, Tiny Tortoise, Big Z, Zentech, Cutler and Gumsy are all yet to improve on what they've managed early on. What is Sean doing? I'm not sure why Sean sat in the pits. Might have just had to give it a break for a second. Armin coming through the fast chicane, looks brilliant coming through there. In the Aston Martin. Thing about the wet, it looks absolutely amazing. Looks really, really good. That's a change from all the dry weather racing that everyone does. I'm still not sure why Sean's sat in the pits, but he's still sat there. Gnarly Pop not improving. He's not on the purple lap this time round, so I'm not looking for any improvement from him. Can Burnt Fry improve as he comes over the line to finish another lap? His 5th lap of qualifying? Nope, not this time. So at the moment, Steer Wheel Racing is untouchable. He's 1.850 seconds in front of Burnt Fry in second, so a lot quicker. Sean's finally left the pits again. Gnarly Pop's just coming from for some fresh tyres. Seemed like a tongue twister all of a sudden, that. Damien in 4th. Mr. Smokes Dark Bocker. Sean on an outlap, so yet to put in another time. Oh, sliding through there with loads of understeer. It's tricky to get the car settled through there. Just pulling out of the way. This is where there's a faster car coming through behind that could be on a fast lap. Unfortunately, that car, which I'm not sure it is, touching the barriers on the exit there, slowing themselves down a little bit. So Steer Wheel Racing's in the pits, but he's not going to get another lap in, I don't think. He might just manage it. He might have pulled a master stroke here and just about managed to get out for another one. As long as you cross the line, I think you get a chance to finish your lap, even if the 15 minutes runs out. So Burnt Fry sliding it through the fast left-hander on the entry and on the exit. Good car control to hold it, but not the fastest way to go around the corner. Looks good though. Cheers, Burnt Fry. To the charlatans. Plenty of charlatans boys in this one. I'll try and point them out as we go. They don't spring off the top of my head. I don't pay much attention to the groups, to be honest, because and who does what, because to me it doesn't really matter for a start, and it just makes it even more complicated and more things to remember. So I'm bad enough at remembering people's names, never mind the rest of it. Yep, we're still in qualifying. We have just over a minute to go before we hit the 15-minute marker, and I think if the guys have managed to get over the line, they might get another lap in. Where is Steerwheel? I'm not sure he's going to manage it here. Still quite a way off the start-finish line. So let's go through the order before we get to towards the end, just in case there's not many different changes or improvements. Steerwheel Racing in first with a good, healthy, nice time over everyone else, and very, very healthy gap. Burnt Fry in second. We've got Gnarly Pop in third. Damien in fourth. Armin in fifth. And watch as Armin comes past. Sean F1 in sixth. So Sean's still on his first real flying lap with low fuel. No, he's got full fuel. I'm not sure what Sean does in qualifying, but he often does that. He sits in the pits and confuses the hell out of me. Neutron Storm in seventh. Oh, just getting that understeer, it's so easy to do, and it's so slow through there when you actually get it right. So it just doesn't feel like you have to go that slow, but unfortunately you do. And that's the reason why you see so many people just hitting the barriers of understeer, because it's just so frustrating having to go so slowly in the wet through certain corners, especially when you've got no downforce whatsoever. Where were we? Sorry, Sean in 6th, Neutron Storm in 7th, Gumsy in 8th, starting the pits, Zentek in 9th, Tiny Tortoise, having a moment, sorry that's Cutler, Tiny Tortoise is in 10th, bit of a battle going on in qualifying, another outlap though, so not the end of the world if something happens, so long as they don't pick up too bad a damage. And Cutler in 11th at the moment, and he's stopped as well, so that looks like Cutler's qualifying's over. So it looks like he's resigned to 11th place, unfortunately. And Cutler normally sees himself a little bit higher than that, a lot higher in some cases, so in some races in some cases. I love a good rhyme. There we go, let's see if Damien improves. Good qualifying though from Damien, one of the charlatan drivers in 4th. Damien and Tiny Tortoise are CRT drivers as well. I've been informed from Damien, you can do it, the kid is good, very impressive from a 13-year-old. You're right about that, Billy. He's very good. He's Neutron Storm. If you didn't join me last week, we found out that Neutron Storm's 13. I knew he was quite young, but I didn't quite realise he was 13. So bear that in mind as you watch him. He's a really good racer, and someone that we'll probably see in the future actually doing really well in all this. So I think that's pretty much qualifying over for everyone who's still coming over the line. Steerwheel Racing did manage to get an extra lap in. Didn't really need it because he's not improved, and he's got a massive lead there in qualifying. So let's see how he goes in the race. If he can pull an early gap in the first lap, break the slipstream down the long straight to come over on onto lap 2, then he might get away with an early lead and be able to just seal the deal nice and early. Well, 9 laps to go though, so there's obviously a chance for mistakes in the wet, but he's got a really good chance if he can carry on that pace through the race. What's up with my mic? I'm not sure, hopefully nothing. I can't hear it myself, to be honest. Let me know if that's any better, if I adjust it a little bit. Got a tiny bit of a sore throat, but that might be influencing it a little bit. Is that any better? That might be a bit better. I think it might be a bit too close, if anything. Mic is fine. Good, 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 good. It's fading in and out. That's just me moving about, I'm afraid. I think it's pretty much me just dancing about on the... bear with me 1 second. There we go. So we're underway. We're on board with Stir Wheel Racing. Terrible start. Stir Wheel Racing leads us away in first position. We've got Burnt Fry in... Oh! Gnarly Pop's just edged ahead in the AMG. So we've got BMW, AMG and BMW. Burnt Fry in third. Damien in fourth. Not a lot of action to commentate on as we go down the long straight. Cutler and Sean side by side. Heading into the first corner now. Let's see how it goes. Cutler up into fourth position. So after a terrible qualifying session, unless I missed something, he's done a great job off the start and absolutely nailed it and got himself through up into fourth already. That's impressive. See Gnarly Pop and Burnt Fry running side by side. How's that going to work out down here? It's pretty narrow between this little bit. So Gnarly Pop backing out and allowing Burnt Fry the room, but that slows down the guys behind, having to take that into account. And now Damien's right on the back with Biggsy side by side with him. Oh, and they all smash into the barriers. Oh, Biggsy and Sean, I think. Nope, Sean's through actually. Oh, Biggsy and who was that? I've missed who that was. Anyway, there's damage for Biggsy. Engine damage, rear bumper damage. Sure, he's got damage everywhere. Got as much damage as he can possibly get. Gumsy's got picked up damage. Damien as well. It's all kicked off. Armin's got damage in 7th position. So Neutron Storm's up into 6th. Let's commentate on the good stuff that's going on. Sean in 5th. Not a bad start from Sean, and he's now well and truly in the slipstream of Cutler in front. As they're slowly coming towards the end of the first lap. This is the worst corner going, it's so slow. You can still have a little moment. There we go, Cutler's just done it. Even though you're going about 10 miles an hour, well, it feels like it, you can still get the rear end out easily enough. So let's see if Sean can catch Cutler up, and let's see what else is going on ahead before we watch that. Gnarly Pop's dropped off Burnt Fry, so he's not really got the chance down this long straight. Stir Wheel Racing, as suspected, has had a brilliant first lap, pulled a nice gap of 3.3 seconds over second place. So really good job. Burnt Fry just looking to close back in on him now, but he's lost that slipstream. Gnarly Pop to Burnt Fry, not too bad a gap. Cutler's too far behind for a slipstream, but Sean, look at this, towards the end of the straight now, even though we're in the wet, he's going to have a chance. He's going to go to the inside. Cutler defending it, not really. Sean not really going down the inside. It's a tricky corner to do it in, to be fair, and especially in the wet. It's a really, really tricky corner to get it through, never mind with an overtaking mind as well. So sits back, waits for an opportunity further along the lap. Neutron Storm, meanwhile, isn't far behind in the Aston Martin, closing in on the guys in front by the look of it. He's not far behind. Gaps have developed a little bit though. Whoa. Cutler getting chased down by Sean. So tiny little mistakes creeping in absolutely everywhere by the look of it. Go on board, go in this view for a second, jump through the drivers, looking back, Burnt Fry safe, Gnarly Pop safe, so the podium sitters are absolutely fine for the time being, so long as they don't have too many incidents. Sean just getting so much understeer into there, looked like he was going slow enough, but still wasn't going quite slow enough to get enough front end grip to be able to turn in, so just ended up understeering all the way to the wall and planted it in the wall and picked up damage because of that. So he's got front right and left suspension damage and front aero damage. Getting it tipped in. Oh, Neutron Storm with a great move down the inside. The hardest corner, arguably, to do it on the track. He picks that one, but it shows us he really is quite skilled, and that's a brilliant overtake. Unfortunately, he's probably going to lose out to Sean with the slipstream now, but still, that was impressive from Neutron Storm. Really good stuff. Threading the needle in the wet, that was. Good enough in the dry, that one, but even more impressive with it being wet. So just keeping an eye on the gaps, no major issues up front. Good battle this for fourth position. Quite a few people diving in the pits already. Going for a pit stop to get rid of damage, a lot of people, no doubt. This is going to be a case of if you stay away from the damage, you might have a chance of a really good result. Held the pressure well, the Neutron Storm there. Sean was closed right up on the back of him into that braking zone. Sean wasn't really able to do much about it. Let's skip a little bit further back. Cutler now in 6th position. Look how much understeer the cars get through these first couple of corners. Just so slippy, no traction whatsoever. Cutler on his outlap, he's just had a pit stop. Damien in 7th, so he qualified in 4th, did Damien, but he's dropped back quite considerably since then. Paul's absolutely gutted he's not racing this week. Lucky bucket. Oh, Damien was taken out apparently. I missed that, but oh, that was who was taken out at the beginning. It all got a bit confusing. Oh, it's warm tonight as well. That's making it a bit more tricky to concentrate. I'm in 8th position. Still haven't finished going through the field. We've got Gumsy in 9th, and he's the last of the racers now. So we'll go over the line with Stairwheel Racing. Let's see how he's doing this. We'll go on board with him for at least half a lap, a minute or so, and see how he goes through these first corners compared to everyone else. See if he's a lot neater or if he's having trouble as well. Currently setting the fastest time of a 2:11.304 though, so incredibly quick compared to what we've seen the other guys doing. Still on his qualifying pace, to be fair. There we see as well, first sector's purple. Only just purple, but there we go. Avoiding the understeer by just going really slowly, quite frankly. Hooking up the apex, not drifting it wide with too much acceleration in between the corners, and then just gets a good exit, fires it down here nicely, flat out through this left-hander, flat out through the next right-hander, and then let's see where he brakes, ready for the fast left-right chicane, down into 3rd gear, going through there at, I missed it actually, over 100 mile an hour though, even in the wet. 130 mile an hour through that corner. Oh, tips it in a little bit too early there. But luckily he's got a lead enough to not worry about that. So let's see where the action's at. It's not a great deal going on at the moment by the look of it. We've got Damien being chased by Cutler for 6th position. We have someone in the background. We have NGR Armin, he's still in touch just about on the back of Cutler. If there's any big mistakes, which there nearly was there. Oh, just getting the line completely wrong. Losing a lot of time if Armin behind got that right. Oh, just a bit wide as well. Struggling to get turned into these apexes. Good job through there though. Armin's coming. Straight section now. Gap's growing slightly actually. See what he does into the last corner. Oh, slightly outbroke himself. It's all good though, so long as he gets that second apex. Straightens it up for a good exit. quite good from Armin. Looks like Cutler in front was struggling a little bit as well. He has lost time though. It looked like it was nice and steady, but he must have just got a little bit too much wheel spin compared to Cutler in front. Cutler has got the slipstream as well of Damien in 6th. So Steer Wheel Racing still our leader. Heading on to lap 5 with Cutler. And I am unbelievably hot. Cutler doing it again, using those barriers to get round more often than not. Unfortunately, we keep seeing that from Cutler. Managed to get through the second one, but every time he does that, so long as the guy behind's keeping it clean, he's losing time. So Sean's not too far off Neutron Storm in 4th, 2.3 second gap between these guys. Sean with front damage still, but he's still not got rid of it, so he's just handling that damage. And he's actually closing in on Neutron Storm in front. I'm not sure if Neutron Storm's just had a little bit of an issue, but he's just lost half a second to Sean behind. Looks like the gap's working its way back out again though, so I think Neutron Storm must have just had a bad corner or two and just lost a little bit of time. Meanwhile, Gnarly Pop in 3rd place is well and truly safe with a 17 second gap to 4th place. Burnt Fry still battling hard, but he's mainly trying to stay ahead of Gnarly Pop rather than catching Steer Wheel Racing. Steer Wheel Racing in a league of his own in this one. Got first position by quite the margin in qualifying, and now he's managed to hold off a very, very good pace throughout the race to be able to secure a nice, healthy lead. This is going to be a good result for Neutron Storm if he manages to bring it home in 4th. Still got 4 laps to go. See how these guys go through the first corner again. So Neutron Storm looks like he's mastered it. Sean doing a good job as well. I'm not sure. Oh, it's going bored with Burnt Fry. Looks like he's all over the place with the rear end a bit. BMW can be a bit like that in the dry, so I've never driven it in the wet, I don't think, but no doubt it is a handful. Obviously tuning and setup is available for these guys, so they can work all week to try and get a good setup for the wet. But yeah, looks quite the handful. Let's see how he manages to come out of this last corner. Slowly getting it turned around the 2 apexes. Not too bad an exit actually, gets the traction down not too badly. Gnarly Pop is dropping off a little bit from Burnt Fry now, so he was 3.3 seconds behind about half a lap ago, but Burnt Fry doing a good job as we were watching him then. Neutron Storm's building this gap to Sean quite nicely. So it's up to 4.8 seconds now, 4.9. Sean just coming down the start finish straight. Looks like he's sticking to the left hand side as though he might pit. Is he going to pit this time? Nope. Guys are looking pretty healthy for fuel. Nothing to worry about there really. It's all separated a little bit. We've got Damien pretty close to the back of Cutler, to be fair. It's probably our closest little battle at the moment. Got Gumsy in 8th, Armin in 9th. Armin just diving in the pits as well this time. So unfortunately already right at the back, but taking the pit stop as well. Could quite possibly be for damage that. So Damien down the long straight, Cutler's just managed to gain quite a lot on him. Roughly about 0.7 of a second, I think, 7/10. So quite a lot of time just down the straight is that, seeing as though Damien potentially had the slipstream. Go on board with Cutler. He was having a few issues earlier. Oh, Rhea stepping out mid corner there, catches it nicely, gets it back under control. So this gap between Cutler and Damien keeps growing and then shrinking again and then growing again, so we'll keep an eye on that and see who ends up winning in the end. We're on lap 7 of 9, so we've still got a little bit of time to go. It's quite a long lap, as we've already seen, and Cutler's on his personal best lap at the moment though, so that's good to see. Still setting fast times. Coming down the straight now as well, so he's not going to have any issues from now up until the first corner again. There we go, he's set his fastest time of 2:13.163, so really good time and nearly a second quicker than what he's previously done in this race as his personal best. So quite impressive there from Cutler to say he doesn't have a slipstream as well, gaining a second all of a sudden. Sean just having a steady race, keeping it nice and steady, just keeping it on track, not pushing too hard and not making many mistakes, or not that we've seen. Neutron Storm just grazing the barriers, causing a few sparks as we just joined him then. But he's picked up no damage, so it wasn't too heavy a contact on the wall. We've got a bit of front aero damage from Gnarly Pop in 3rd position. Oh, and a bit of a loose rear end by the look of it. Guys running without traction control. I haven't actually looked at everyone, but Gnarly Pop certainly is. The icon at the bottom with the car and the squiggly lines as though it's skidding is the traction control button. Not button, but you know what I mean, signifies that it's on. Burnt Fry not running it, steer wheel not running it. So steer wheel coming over the line to start lap 9, the last lap. Burnt Fry in 2nd, just looking to get a good last lap in and secure that 2nd position. Gnarly Pop in 3rd, should be able to do that, these guys, so long as they don't have any massive incidents. Now the battle is really between Neutron Storm, Sean and Cutler. Oh, maybe not Cutler anymore. Cutler gets a spin on. Damien comes through, so takes 6th position. Get my words out in the end. Let's have a look, see what happened to Cutler there. Oh, why would it do that? It's gone right back to the start. Anyway, oh, Cutler still hasn't got going. Why do the replays not work anymore? They used to work perfectly, but they don't anymore. Neutron Storm coming into the pits for a late pit stop. Oh, he's nearly out of fuel, so he's had to come in just for fuel. So he's dropped from 4th position into 6th now. He's got the car of Damien in front to try and chase down throughout this next lap. But that is not good from Neutron Storm. Maybe he didn't quite realise how close it was on his fuel. Could have managed it a little bit better maybe in 4th position, but unfortunately, yeah, he's had to do a pit stop right on the last lap. It's never good to see. So Damien gets promoted up into 5th position all of a sudden. Now, a couple of little incidents towards the end are giving a couple of the guys that were a little bit further back a bit of hope. Sean well and truly secure now with a 5.6 second gap to the guy behind him, so he can just concentrate on getting this one brought home for a nice position, a nice fourth in the end. He needs to do it still though. It's easy for me to say just watching. That move. Yep. Unfortunately, oh, is TC not allowed? I forgot about that. Yeah, that's why no one's running it. Traction constant, TC traction control is not actually on. We've got the D1 Mark 3 K3 or something. Yep. Go on, demo. Chewing demo on. So there we go. Steer wheel's actually finished the race. I've missed it. Well done to steer wheel, a good win from start to finish. He's held first position. Burn Fry comes over the line in second. Low on fuel, we have Gnarly Pop with a little bit of damage, but he's brought it home nicely in third. Sean just coming through the last corner now. He's got no worries from behind, so long as he can get the power down. Plays it safe by going into fourth, saves a bit of fuel as well. So we're going to see Sean bring it home in fourth. Damien's got through the last corner, no problems behind as well, so Damien's going to bring it home in fifth. So good race from these guys, good result in the end. Fourth is very respectable in the wet there from Sean, and same for Damien, a couple of positions towards the end, courtesy of Neutron Storm pitting and Cutler having a bit of an incident. So Gumsy, Neutron Storm finishing in sixth in the end, sorry. Gumsy is now coming down the big hill, down the start finish straight, the longest straight in Gran Turismo I believe, other than the whatever it's called, Route X, which is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable race there from Steer Wheel Racing. Billy Miller just picking up and saying unbelievable time as well. Really really good time and fastest lap. I'm in finishing in 8th. Not the result we would have hoped for, but not bad in the end. And finally we see Cutler with all sorts of damage flashing away on his car. All sorts of damage flashing away on his car, and there we go, brings it home to finish us off in 9th. So Bigsy backed out in the end with a DNF. God, I need to cool down. Could do with a fan. I've got a heater but not a fan. So a really good race there, considering the rain. Some really good driving. Not the most entertaining action wise. We didn't see that many overtakes, but it was still pretty entertaining stuff. To say they were all in the wet. Where is it? So yeah, that's race 1 over and done with. It's the second one again. We have a 13 lap race for race 2, which hopefully will give us a little bit more close racing. But if it doesn't, it'll still be entertaining enough, I'm sure. Yeah, a good race there from the podium finishers. Not easy to keep it neat and tidy for 9 laps around here. Concentration wise, and obviously with the added element of the wet weather. Nice one, demo from J Marriott. Oh, good stuff. I'll just have a little bit of a breather. A little bit of a break in between these races, so might go quiet, do forgive me. Before we get the second one underway, it gives me a chance to have a little bit of a break. Yeah, shame about the fuel with Neutron Storm there. unfortunately. I'm sure he'll learn from that one though. He won't do that again. We'll certainly be checking his fuel gauge a little bit more in this next race, I'm sure. Yeah, he's having a really good race as well. If he'd have just saved that little bit over the last 2 laps, because it's such a long lap, if he'd have just saved a little bit by short shifting down the long straights, and if he could have got away with it, which he could have done, he had a good helping gap to the car behind. But yeah, just couldn't quite save enough fuel by the look of it. So unfortunate for him having to pit on the last lap, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And it worked out nicely for Damien. He managed to gain 2 positions towards the end there. Price commented one of the races that's actually in the chat as well, commented, "I'm hating this." Hating the wet. I quite like it, it's a good challenge, but you've just had a good race as well, so it can't be that bad, Jordan. Yeah, it's the same track for the second race, sorry, it's the same track for both, but the weather is not quite as bad. So this was heavy rain, and the next one is light rain instead, so it might bring a little bit of strategy into it with the the intermediate and wet tyre instead of just the wet tyre. 13 laps as well, starting as you can see on the left hand side with the settings with 70 litres of fuel. So they start with less fuel, but they can't come into the pits for anything other than no, they can't come in for fresh tyres until after lap 4. Right. It's hard to remember all this sometimes. I should write it down. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forget to mention. So I'll mention it now. The guys that have just finished in the podium positions, 1st, 2nd and 3rd, have to put a little bit of extra weight on their cars now for race 2. Just as a little bit of success ballast. So it slows them down slightly. Potentially makes it a little bit trickier through the corners for them. And loses them a tiny touch of time down the straights as well, so there's that to bear in mind. So obviously it's good winning a race, but you get the maximum weight added for a penalty, so not a penalty, but you know what I mean, success ballast, like I say. I can feel my voice going. Oh, what am I doing? Jumped in myself, pressed the wrong thing. Doing, press that one, otherwise I'll be starting the race. So it is noticeably lighter. The time of day is different, we can see a lot more, but the track's still wet, but you can see it's not anywhere near as much of an issue. There's no real puddling like there is when it's heavy wet. So it's not as much of an issue. Let's see what tyres are on. Armin's on the wet tyre, just picked up a little bit of damage there. Wet for Neutron Storm as well. Intermediate for Tiny Tortoise, so he's braving it on the intermediates. Gnarly Pop is on the wets. Burnt Fry is on the intermediate, so it looks, I'm going to say it looks dry there, but they're in the tunnel. Oh dear, it would be dry in the tunnel obviously. So this is just a little bit of a practice in between the races. Guys that want to go out can do a few more laps and just keep their eye in. Looks like Cutler's looking to start it sometime soon though. So it'll be interesting, it's a reverse grid as well this race. So it'll be interesting to see how Stairwheel Racing handles his pace, because he's certainly got the speed over everyone else on this track with his car choice and his setup. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes through the field, whether he manages to do it quite quickly or it's a bit of a challenge for him and the guys try and hold him up a bit. Finally cooled down slightly. Biggs is not going to be racing. Looks like he's volunteering the second race. Unfortunate. So we've got one leaving us before it even starts. No, it's an acquired taste of wet weather. Most people don't like it, but I like it just because it's a challenge, really. Can't say I like it. I prefer to go around in the dry, but I know it's a shame there isn't a few more view options. Would be nice. You can imagine these things will be introduced into the newer games that are coming out soon, and especially for the new console. So Armin's leading a little bit of a battle here in this little practice session. Gnarly Pop's following him. Got Mercedes AMG following the what's it called? Aston Martin. I wanted to call it Lamborghini then for a second. Aston Martin Vanquish, I think it is. So hopefully we get this race underway sometime soon. Got guys that have gone round that much that they're paid. Sean just getting out of the way for Damien. Even though it's a little bit of a practice session, there's still a bit of racing etiquette going on. It's good to see. Like Cutler's mentioned at the bottom, pit window doesn't open till lap 4, so they've got to bear that in mind. Thank you for joining me if you have done so far as well. Obviously you wouldn't hear me say that if you haven't, but thank you very much. Feel free to hit that like button if you enjoy these things. It always helps out with YouTube. Here we go. We start the final. A couple of seconds to count down and we'll be underway. I'll quickly try and call out the grid order. Cutler's in first, Armin in second, Gumsy in third, Neutron Storm in fourth, Damien in fifth, Sean in sixth, Gnarly Pop in seventh, Burnt Fry in eighth, and we have, I won't even change it, I'm going to mess up the start if I do. Great angle for the start. You can see Cutler and no one else, but we'll bear with it for the time being. Away they go. The Audi R8 of Cutler getting away quite well. Armin losing a position, dropping into third already. Oh, down into fourth already. Damien getting through, slipstreaming Gumsy already. Gumsy with a decent start. Sean coming through with Gnarly Pop behind him. Burnt Fry in sixth. Decent start from Burnt Fry. Neutron Storm getting away well. Everyone coming down the long straight. Let's see what happens into T1. Cutler's away already. Let's see what happens behind. Side by side for a few of the guys. Bit of room given. It's tricky enough going through there on your own. Oh, bit of contact from Cutler as he comes through side by side. Looked like they were 3 wide for a second. Sean, Gnarly Pop and Burnt Fry 3 wide for a split second there. Sean just pulling through to take fourth position as they head through the fast left right-hander. A fast left-hander and then the right-hander. Closely followed by Burnt Fry, and then a scrap going on for 6th position. Oh, they're not going to get through there together. Gnarly Pop and Armin having a little bit of contact. Neutron Storm finding it hard to find his way through, still in 8th. There's all sorts going on here. Neutron Storm down the inside on Gnarly Pop, good move. Up into 7th now. Gnarly Pop finding himself mugged a little bit there. Steer wheel racing, just keeping it calm on the first lap, trying to make good of any opportunity that might come in front of him. Tiny Tortoise in 10th. We'll jump back towards the top as we skip through. We'll see what's going on. Oh, Burnfry making a move to try and get 3rd. Gumsy side by side with him. Gumsy on the inside, Burnfry on the outside. Oh, they catch Damien almost with the late braking, so they do. Damien actually suffers a little bit there, loses a couple of positions as Gumsy and Burnfry manage to get through. Oh, and there's a tiny bit of contact between, well, I say tiny, quite a heavy bit of contact between, where have they gone? Burnfry and Damien then. Armin's right on the back of them now because of that, so Armin in 5th position. Was quite high up at the start, but he's still got a good race in front of him here if he keeps it going. Sean getting side by side with him with a good run down the long straight, all slipstreaming each other. Very loud as they go through that. Sounds good though. Let's go on board with one of these guys. Quickly exit and then go back in. Go on board with Armin in 6th position from NGR. Watching Sean in front, let's see what happens. Sean down the inside of Damien. Oh, Damien gets caught by Armin with just a load of understeer straight into his door basically. Let's Damien go back through, but unfortunately that's caught out Gnarly Pop behind. Gnarly Pop not finding much room to get it through, and gets blocked a little bit there from Armin. Neutron Storm meanwhile getting, oh, beautiful from Neutron Storm all the way around the outside as them two are scrapping. Losing a bit of time as they cause a bit of contact, and Neutron Storm just drives around the outside. Good work. Steer wheel racing looks like he's had an incident on lap 1 and he's now 22 seconds off the leader, so unexpected after his win in race 1, but we'll see how we can do in the rest of the race, because he's certainly got the pace. He managed to out-qualify everyone by nearly 2 seconds, so it is possible he could catch up. We'll keep an eye on that, but at the moment not a great position to be in 10th. See what else is going on. Burnfry in 3rd now, Gumsy in 2nd, Sean in 4th, Damien in 5th, Cutler holding the lead. Cutler's actually got a bit of a lead of a second, so he doesn't have to worry about defending into the slow right hand hairpin, double apexer. We see Gumsy and Burnfry side by side on the exit there. It's not helpful coming out side by side because it's a tricky enough corner coming out on your own, never mind with someone next to you to worry about. Burnfry getting up in 2nd, taking it off Gumsy. Gumsy with the slipstream though. Sean's sat there in Gumsy's slipstream as well. Charlatan, Damien in 5th. Gnarly Pop's got a little bit of a battle on his hands with Neutron Storm closing in on him now. Neutron Storm with Armin to worry about behind him as well though. Coming through there with a little bit of a twitch from the rear, but nice and calm. Handles it nicely. Armin doing a great job to stick with these guys now. Right on the back of them. Tricky in these wet conditions, following so closely. The Neutron Storm's got more pressure from behind than he has a concern of overtaking really, so he's having to worry about Armin. Oh, this is father and son we're seeing here, and it's side by side. A little bit of contact heading into there, but they managed to run it side by side through the corner and then on the exit. And it's Neutron Storm, the younger 13-year-old, over his dad that leads into the braking zone for the tricky right-hander. Again, it's important to get a good exit out of here. Really hard to get the traction down. So easy to lose the grip at the rear. Both doing a good job that time round. And it's Armin that leads over Neutron Storm as they come out. So good racing between these two. They'll be absolutely loving it. I'm sure with being 13, they live in the same house. So if they actually race in the same room, I'm sure they're having a good laugh together. Be absolutely brilliant, I'm sure. So Cutler is a little bit of a concern now. Burnt Fry's not far behind him whatsoever, less than half a second, isn't it? So the lead is under challenge now from Burnt Fry. Riding the wall a little bit into there, but gets away without losing too much time. Gets a good exit for this long slipstream section. Can he do anything about his slipstream though? He's incredibly close. Let's go on board. Keeping it nice and neat and tidy. Cutler in front just went a little bit deep into there. Not the ideal line, but not too bad. Nowhere really to go for Burnt Fry. Didn't look to the inside. It could have possibly gone to the inside because there is always a chance that the guy you're racing against might feel a bit of pressure, pick up a little bit of understeer as he goes in there a little bit too hot, and then you've got the inside opens up where you've actually got a chance to overtake all of a sudden. As long as you keep it nice and steady on the brakes. Instead he's chosen to go for the heavy braking zone down the end of this long straight. Can he take first position? So he's in first at the moment. Cutler's still down the inside. Cutler in the Audi R8 versus BMW M6. And Cutler with a good line out of there maintains his first position. Burnt Fry still challenging as hard as possible to try and get that. Whilst the guys in first and second have been battling away, though, it's brought Sean back into the race, so he's right back in the slipstream of Burnt Fry in front. In third position, Sean having a great race so far. Gnarly Pop in fourth. Gnarly Pop's done a great job to make his way through the field. It was quite a long way back, so he's done a good job to put it in fourth so far. Still plenty of time left in this one. Neutron Storm in fifth, not having a bad race either. He's slowly making his way through the field. Got Armin in sixth, so it's worked its way out, that little battle between those two. And slowly but surely, Neutron Storm has managed to pull a gap over Armin. Steer wheel racing, that's more like it. That's where I'd expect him to be, or a little bit higher up. In seventh now, not right at the back anymore. Doing a great job of clawing a bit of a comeback race out of this one. Something happened on lap one for steer wheel racing. I'm not sure exactly what, but dropped him 22 seconds off the leader. So he's done a good job to keep that going and get a few positions made out of it. Damien in eighth. Unfortunate for Damien, he's in eighth now. Picked up a 2:28.783 lap time on lap 4, so that's incredibly slow. That's 18 seconds slower than his fastest lap that he's done round here, so he's obviously lost a lot of time on lap 4, and not sure if that's through a pit stop. I would have thought that's a little bit too early for a pit stop. They have got full fuel on though, so yeah, he has pitted. He's got full fuel on. The guys that have got a little less fuel, like Armin for example, who have hardly any fuel, he certainly hasn't pitted yet. So it looks like the order's changing a bit. Sean, oh, what's happened there? Will we actually get a replay from the replay button? Burnt Fry, there's a massive mistake from Burnt Fry by the look of it. No, why does it go right back to the beginning? So we've missed it, but looks like coming out of the last corner, the really tricky traction zone, trying to get your foot down and trying to get some power out of it. Oh, he's diving in the pits now to get the repair and probably change the tyres. Yep, changing the tyres, getting some fuel as well. So not great there from Gr3. He's lost the chance for the lead as Cutler just carries on without a pit stop this time round, setting purple sectors as well as he heads into the first corner. So Cutler with a 4.6 second lead all of a sudden over Sean in second place. Sean needs to hold this position. This is a really good position now for Sean. He does need a pit stop as well. As long as he can hold off Gnarly Pop for the rest of this lap and he doesn't battle away too much with him and have to lose too much time to him, then it's a good lap. He can get in the pits and he'll come out with a really reasonable position. Gnarly Pop on a purple sector. So Gnarly Pop up on his up on the fastest lap so far in this race. Sorry, not just his fastest lap. Picked up quite a bit of tyre wear as well, so that's quite impressive to be still setting purple sectors. Lap 6 now. So Cutler still with a healthy lead of 4.4 seconds. Sean coming through, not far behind at all. Gnarly Pop. These guys just need to make it to the pits without too much of a drama between them. Still Wheel Racing now up into 4th. Got half a tank of fuel. He's in a reasonable position with the tyres, so he's set to go for quite a long time now. And he's making quite a good race out of this one. Now he's up into 4th. Started right at the back after winning race, well, the first race of tonight, of round 4. So we see pit stops happening all over the place. Cutler in the pits, Sean in the pits, so all the leaders diving in on this lap. Gnarly Pop in the pits as well. Stir Wheel Racing in the pits, so the top 4 in this race, all diving in the pits. It's all going to be incredibly close down the straight now. So Sean's probably gone for the most fuel because he's come out furthest behind. Gnarly Pop's not done a bad job there at all. So now, oh no, Gnarly Pop, yeah, sorry, Gnarly Pop's already come out. He's already got a bit of tyre wear. He must have wheel spun it out of the pits or something. Oh, what's that? Cutler. That's Cutler just sat there. What's happened there? So it looks like we've got an internet problem or something. Oh, what? Oh, a bit of lag or something. All of a sudden he's back in first place. So we have Cutler in first place, that's a bit random. Damien in second, really close behind as well, putting the pressure on Cutler. I don't know what's happened there, but the gap has shrunk massively. What is going on tonight? The replays don't work. There's some crazy lag going on that doesn't explain exactly what's just happened to Cutler, but something's happened and Damien's just taking the lead. Oh, Damien, an awesome job at this point in the race. What an opportunity now for Damien to win this one. Look at the fuel and tyres from Damien, so he's set to go for a long stint now. We're on lap 7 of 13, so he could possibly, he can definitely get to the end on fuel, I think. I might be a bit premature saying that, but I'm pretty sure he can. But Damien with a really good opportunity now to try and gain the gap over Cutler. Cutler just suffering a little bit on this first lap, I think. Trying to get the tyres up to temperature. Gnarly Pop and Sean side by side. Gnarly Pop going really deep into the last corner, allowing Sean to get the run on the exit. And Sean's up into third. He was already in third, sorry. Gnarly Pop nearly took third off him there. Incredibly close between these two. So a good battle now between the top guys. Let's see what else is going on. Stir Wheel Racing, a little bit of a gap, 3.5 second gap to Gnarly Pop in front, but still doing a grand job. We see the guys in front actually going side by side, Sean and Gnarly Pop. Gnarly pop way before the end of the straight. Manages to get the slipstream and get past. So will Sean come back at him into the first corner? He's gone down the inside. Oh, he's not going to push it on the brakes though. Make sure you get it through the first corner without damage, that's the main thing. Yep, both do a good job on that front. Meanwhile, we've got steer wheel racing with a bit of pressure on him now from Burnfry. Burnfry down in 6th now, but he's got the fresh tyres on and the fuel as well. Okay, it's pretty close stuff though. So we've got just bunches of 2 cars everywhere, big gap in between and another 2 cars. Makes for some good racing though. Comes in Neutron Storm together now. Oh, coming through the fast right-hander into the braking zone for the left-right. Neutron Storm had a bad line going in there, so he did a good job of gathering that back up to make it not too much of an issue. Oh, he's down the inside, Neutron Storm. Oh, what he yes, he's got the job done. He's got the job done before the braking zone up into the weird and wonderful tricky right-hander. Seems off camber, uphill, bit blind and slippy as hell in the wet. So Neutron Storm making a good overtake there on Gumsy. Let's hope he keeps it nice and secure through this last corner. Is Gumsy coming back at him? Gumsy down the inside. Whoa, don't quite close in enough, Gumsy, on the brakes, but it's all down to the exit now. Neutron Storm with a decent exit, decent traction. Gumsy side by side with him though. So 7th position is at risk now. Neutron Storm should actually just drop behind Gumsy and get the slipstream, not fight it too much, just lift off that little bit just for a split second, drop behind him. Looks like he's done that now. Get the slipstream and go back at him for the first corner. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on what else is going on. It's all very exciting. Burnfry side by side with Steer Wheel Racing down the inside into T1. Don't look wet at all now, so it looks like there's some good traction through these first couple of corners compared to the first race. They're not struggling half as much, and we're not seeing half as much understeer going on. Sean looks like he's getting caught up a little bit now. He's only got a 1.3 second gap to steer wheel behind in 5th. Gnarly pop. Oh, Damien and Cutler side by side. Damien just getting his first place back by the look of it. Is there any damage? It looked like no, it looked like there might have been a touch of contact, but there's no damage between the two, so that's the main thing. Damien maintaining his first place, but he's having to fight hard for it. There is some good racing going on, especially in this second race. Everyone just trying to keep it clean and keep it on track in the first one, really, and the gaps developed massively, but there's some really good stuff going on in this second one, and credit to the guys racing. It's not the easiest of tracks as well. It's a bit of an odd one. Oh no, Damien's just spun it. Coming on, Cutler's done the same. Gnarly pop just driving through into first. Oh my word. Damien and Cutler are going to regret that one. They were so comfortable up there. So they've both done the same thing coming out of the last corner. I've mentioned it so many times now, that last corner is a hell of a corner to try and get the traction down out of. And it's so easy to get the rear tyres lit up. Get a spin going. They've picked up damage as well, or Cutler has. Damien's managed to get away without damage, so Cutler's diving in the pits, but that's a massive change now. So Gnarly Pop inherits first place and he's got quite the lead, 3 second lead over Steer Wheel Racing. Steer Wheel Racing is now in second place. He's got a chance now with Steer Wheel Racing in the remaining 3 laps to actually try and close in on Gnarly Pop and try and make it a double win tonight. He won in race 1, so can he actually close in that gap and try and get 2 wins out of this? It wasn't looking likely a moment ago, but all of a sudden, with Cutler and Damien doing that, changed the race altogether. Sean in third, keeping a nice consistent pace going is Sean, and keeping it going well. He's had a few bad laps in amongst his lap times there, but nothing too bad. Done a really fast lap of a 2. I suppose the fastest lap is really quick as well, I guess. 209.319 from Birthright. So that's mixed things up a little bit. Let's go through the order now and let's see what else is going on a little bit further back. So Damien in 5th now, in a bit of a race on his own now, all of a sudden. Cutler obviously dropping back because of his pit stop, getting rid of the damage on the intermediate tyre. Doesn't have to worry about anything now though, he's flat out till the end. Neutron Storm's not far behind Cutler and he's closing in as well, so the gap's down to 2 seconds. Let's see how it develops through these next couple of corners. Quite a long straight after this one. So yeah, Neutron Storm catching up to Cutler in front. Heavy on the brakes into the notorious, what's becoming quite notorious already, last corner. Oh no, bit of a moment there. Neutron Storm getting the power down a little bit too aggressively. Got to be patient on that right foot, get the power back down. Damien with his fastest lap so far there, so going well is Damien after a terrible lap 9. He's trying to rectify that mistake and he's putting his fastest lap so far in this race of a 2:10.531. Armin in the pits. The Birthright driving round with the distance smell of Sean in 3rd position. We've got quite a gap in between them. Steer Wheel Racing now has pulled away. He does have the pace, he's proved it in qualifying and he's pulling away from Sean. So they were battling quite hard. The gap's not really closing into Gnarly Pop though, so he's still maintaining roughly around the 2-second gap. But it looks like Steer Wheel Racing's on a bit of a charge now. Guys going well around here. Let's go on board with a few of them. Let's go on board with Steer Wheel Racing as he tries to catch Gnarly Pop in front. Windscreen wipers going like the clappers. Look how slow from on board, look how slow and clumsy this corner can be. Went a little bit wide then and it was going so slow. I keep forgetting to look at the actual speed through there. Got a purple lap as well, so it's not even like he's done that corner badly there. That's how slow that last corner actually is when you take it at the correct pace. Let's see if he comes over the line to set a purple fastest lap here. It's possible. Is it going to be? Yeah! Steer Wheel Racing just taking the fastest lap off Birthright with a 2:09.241. So brilliant time round here. About a 10th faster, I think, than Birthright's previous time that's just been beaten. So he is catching Gnarly Pop slowly but surely. Can't be a bad time from Gnarly Pop as well because he's keep maintaining that gap to Steer Wheel. Let's skip through again and see what else is going on as we come towards the end. We've still got 2 laps to go, but we'll see what action's going on and see what might develop. Big gaps between a few of these guys now a bit further down. Neutron Storm having a race on his own now, he just needs to keep his head down, get that 7th position. Armin in the pits again. So we saw Armin in the pits last lap, I think it was. So he's picked up some damage, he's repairing that. So in the pits 2 laps in a row, but he's managed to get away with it and he's still in 8th position. Tiny Tortoise having a terrible time of the wet. Oh, really struggling to get through the last corner there. Tiny Tortoise is quite the way off, but as we always say, it's good and he's improving. He's not. He was further away last week, put it that way. So he's doing a good job, and he's slowly improving week on week. So credit to him for sticking with it, competing with some really quick guys out there. Gumsy in 10th place, just sat in the pits, waiting for the race to end by the look of it. So let's go on board again with a little bit of action from Burnt Fry and Sean. It seems so ridiculous, the way that you have to come out of there, especially when there's two cars together. You're thinking, why aren't you put his foot down? Why aren't you going? Yeah, big whoops there from Cutler and Damien. That's Burnt Fry just driving past, casually as you like. That's Sean. We're on lap 13 now, we're on the final lap. So Sean's going to get the last step on the podium. He's going to have to make it work through this last lap, but that's not a great start to the lap into the first corner from Burnt Fry. Loads of understeer. Lets Sean close right back up. All that speed gained on the long straight, he's lost straight away. That's the way it goes sometimes. Steer wheel racing, still under a little bit of pressure. Oh, sorry, no. Steer wheel racing now in the lead. I missed that. So steer wheel racing has got past in the end, managed to catch up to Gnarly Pop, and he's now holding first place. Gnarly Pop in second, doing his best just to stick with him and not drop any further down. Oh, touches the wall there. Not what you want to be doing, especially on the last lap. You don't want to be picking up any damage you don't need. Well, you never need damage, you know what I mean. Sean in fourth. Can he claim that last step of the podium? That's going to be the best story towards the end now, I think, in this last lap. Keep an eye on that gap. Delta on the top left, sitting at 1.6 at the moment. Well, they're all coming towards the end now, so let's watch as steer wheel racing come through the last corner. We'll keep an eye on that as we skip back to them coming over the line and see what happens between Burnt Fry and Sean. So steer wheel racing with a great second win of the night, 2 in a row, and you can't say fairer than that. Really good stuff from steer wheel racing. Gnarly Pop bringing it home in second, Burnt Fry in third in the end. So holds off Sean. Sean finishes in fourth. Really good finish from Sean again. Damien in fifth. Cutler in sixth. What could have been for those two. They were in first and second and both had a spin coming out of the last corner. Not together, not with contact, but they both did the same thing on the same lap. Neutron Storm bringing home in seventh in the end in the second race. Armin, his dad, looks like he's secured 8th, even though he's taking a few cones out to get through the last corner. Drifting his way onto the straight, always good to see. So Armin is going to bring it home in 8th, and then we have Tiny Tortoise slowly but surely. He's on his last lap now, coming towards the braking zone for the last corner. So Armin crossing the line. 1 minute and 5 seconds off the leader in the end, Armin, so not too bad, but quite the gap between him and his son in the end, over 30 seconds. Tiny Tortoise gathers it all up out of the last corner and sends it down the straight for the final time to round this race out. Thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure once again. Join me next week as well. Feel free to hit that subscribe button and you'll get a notification if you hit that bell icon as well when I put up the next stream. And yeah, feel free to hit that like button as well. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been absolutely brilliant from the guys tonight. The first race was quite tricky, but the second one proving a lot more entertaining. and there's been some really good action to watch. A couple of good overtakes in there as well, and it's been really good stuff. So credit to the guys on track that we've been watching, and some really good results, in particular Steer Wheel Racing with 2 wins tonight, so credit to him and congratulations. And yeah, don't get much better than that, 2 wins in one night. Anyway, I'm going to pretty much leave it there. My voice is more or less going. Thank you again for joining me, I really do appreciate it. Take care, see you again next week hopefully. I'll just go through the comments before I leave. Actually, good bit of racing tonight from Dark Smoker. Yep, unfortunate that you haven't managed to do your stream, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Bloody internet. Steer Wheel was flying tonight. Yeah, it was, especially in that second race, a reverse grid, so he started right at the back and did a great job to actually get all the way through in the end and actually win. So again, congratulations to him. And Paul Buck saying well done everyone, and great commentary again, Adey. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Yeah, don't know what to say about that. I just try and do my best and enjoy it as much as possible. Cheers again, I couldn't do it without you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.